Along with the new Dark Angel Codex, it does look like the Dark Angels are getting a brand new combat patrol coming fairly soon, and it is quite a big change from the current one. We did have a bit of a leak a few weeks ago about the possible contents, and it does look as though those leaks were proven correct, because we can see in the new codex that the brand new Dark Angels combat patrol will indeed be made up of a captain in Gravis armor, 10 Space Marine intercessors, 5 Hellblasters, and 3 Bladeguard Veterans. Now, this is a far cry from the current patrol, which nets you a chaplain, 5 intercessors, 3 inceptors, and a tasty Redemptor Dreadnought, and I will admit, I think it looks arguably quite a bit less impressive. But actually, from a pure points perspective, at least currently before the latest balanced data slate, it does actually get you a little bit more in the army. The old set was 60 points for the chaplain, 85 points for the intercessors, 110 for the inceptors, and then 200 for the redemptor, for a total of 455 points. The new box does get you slightly more, coming in at 465, with the captain being 80, 10 intercessors being 170, 90 points for the Blade Guard, and then 125 points for those 5 Hellblasters. It still does net you a tiny bit of that Dark Angels plasma theme, although it's worth noting the Codex has unfortunately gutted a large part of that in terms of stratagem and buff support, but still, it's not a bad unit to have, and the Blade Guard are, whilst I guess not super exciting, especially when we see the new Inner Circle Companions and Deathwing Knight models, but they're still okay, they're still solid, they're still a decent unit to have. It's just, rules and points aside, I think the new Dark Angel specific models do obviously look a lot cooler for Dark Angel players. The box is quite notable in that we lose the big Stompy Dreadnought, and I think it's fair to say we may be moving away from the combat patrols having those big centerpiece monsters and vehicles. The Necrons do still have their Doomstalker, but there are no vehicles or dreadnoughts or anything in the Marines Strike Force Octavius, and no Onager or anything similar in the new AdMech Codex Combat Patrol. So I think the loss of things like the Redemptor, like other dreadnoughts, like Invicta Warsuits and Impulsors and all that sort of thing, may well be something we should expect going forward through 10th edition, which is a shame because I do like those big centerpiece units, but as I said, you do get more from your points in this new combat patrol compared to the old one. So on a pure points perspective, it's not too bad. 465 is a decent little points value for a combat patrol, but how does it fare on the monetary front? Well, with the box price of combat patrols coming in at £95 at the moment, they are hefty investments, and certainly you do need to get a good few units in order to get some solid value from them. And in the new box, we get our Gravis Captain, who comes in at £25, 10 Intercessors, which are £37.50, 3 Bladeguard Veterans are £35, and then a squad of 10 Hellblasters is also £37.50. Of course, we only get 5 of them, and half of that comes in to just under £19. So all in, that brings us to round about £117 for the contents of this. However, we also need to remember it's entirely likely that we will get one of the brand new Dark Angel upgrade sprues. I imagine we will probably just get one rather than 2 because they are quite a bit bigger and heftier than the current upgrade sprues. But if we consider that selling separately at a price of, again, from a previous video using the old Black Templars version, around £20, we can get a rough idea of the total value of this box being in the region of £137. So at a price of £95, we end up with our saving in the region of £42, basically getting you the Gravis Captain and the Hellblasters for absolutely free, and as we've come to expect, ending up with an overall saving percentage-wise of around 30%. So it's not terrible, it does get you a decent bit of value, and if you want some more Intercessors or Hellblasters or Bladeguard Veterans, it may well be worth picking up. It just seems very, very bland in terms of a combat patrol to me. I think if you already collect Marines, you will very likely already have plenty of these units and these kits in abundance. Whilst it may be a great box for a brand new player or a brand new Marine player who wants some of those key, iconic, important units just to get things started, it may be good. But I really can't imagine almost any established longer term Space Marine player wanting or needing anything from this set. And it also, to me, doesn't really feel like a Dark Angel box. There is no real uniqueness or draw specifically for a Dark Angel player. Yes, the Hellblasters have plasma, which does fit their theme and their style, but it might have been cool to see some Terminators or some Outriders at least, or even one of the new kits just to give that little bit of extra incentive for a Dark Angel player to pick this up. It's also slightly odd in this box that the HQ, the Gravis Captain, can't actually join any of the units in this set. It's not such a huge issue in games of Combat Patrol itself because all of these sets are balanced against each other and they normally have a rule or an enhancement or an ability that kind of gets around that issue. But in regular games of 40k, if you just bought this set, he would stick out like a sore thumb and be incredibly vulnerable to enemy fire unless you already owned a unit that he could join, like Aggressors or Heavy Intercessors. I almost feel like this set could have done with a different HQ, or maybe something like 5 Heavy Intercessors rather than the 10 regular ones, just to give it that bit more cohesion and give your HQ something they could actually join, as well as, I would say, arguably giving you something a tiny bit more exciting. To me, I know they're both battle line choices, but to me, Heavy Intercessors are just a bit more exciting and cool and fun than regular Intercessors, and I would rather get 5 of them compared to 10 regular Intercessors. All in all, I just have to say I don't think it's a box which is going to sell super well. Again, if you are brand new to 40k or brand new to Marines, it could be useful to grab just to get some of those useful starter units. But aside from that, although you're making a decent saving, I think a lot of the other current combat patrols, the Blood Angels one, the Space Wolf one, the Black Templar one, they all get you better, more exciting units, and you can always just sell the upgrade sprues if you don't want them. If you want to paint them in a, Dark Angel theme or an Ultramarine theme or whatever it may be, you can just sell the upgrade sprues and from those other combat patrols get what is generally just a better selection of units. You also, for the time anyway, get that centerpiece unit like the Dreadnoughts, the Impulsors, and the Invicta Warsuit, which, as I said, I think we will be losing as these other new combat patrols come out. But for now, if you do want to get a combat patrol that has a bigger sort of vehicle in it, then getting one of those rather than this new Dark Angel one will be the way to go. So that is the new Dark Angel Combat Patrol. It is a fairly standard 30% saving and gets you a reasonable, if not particularly exciting, 465 points. Just all round, it feels a little bit vanilla to me, which I think is its biggest problem. But as always, what are your thoughts, and will you be picking up a copy? Let me know down in the comments below, and as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe for more Warhammer content from me, but until next time, I'll catch you later, guys.